Greetings, welcome to the channel. So I just got my hands on some copies of the new second edition of my book, and I must say I'm very pleased with it. I went for the matte black cover this time, and it just feels so nice. Yeah, it's altogether a much more impressive product, I would say. And I was actually stoked because I noticed a few days after this had been released that it was at #1 in the philosophy of science charts on Amazon UK. So I'm very, very pleased about that. Thank you to everyone who's bought this and supported this book. I was in those charts displacing people such as Sam Harris and Neil deGrasse Tyson and even Erwin Schrödinger, one of the great quantum physicists. Beat them all to the #1 spot. And actually, it's the paperback that's at #1. The hardback was at number 10. So I had the #1 and the number 10 spots in the philosophy of science charts on Amazon. Absolutely stoked, I gotta say. So, well, why did I make a second edition? Well, let me just read a little bit from the preface. A wise old master once said to me, "The first thing you learn when you publish a book is all the mistakes you made." Well, 8 months have passed since the publication date, and the illuminating light of awareness has penetrated every nook and cranny of the manuscript. Every sentence scrutinized with unrelenting tenacity. All grammatical and syntactical impurities isolated, eliminated, or transformed. If you were negatively affected by the parsimonious use of full stops, inconsistent apostrophization, or inappropriate capitalization, the time has come to rejoice. The rectification process is complete. The book has been gently fermented, distilled for 8 lunar cycles, and sublimated with a purifying fire, separating the proper from the improper, the subtle from the gross. A multitude of minor modifications have amounted to a major modification in the writing style, improving the sentence structure, and advancing the articulation of the prose. As a music artist, I wrestled with perfectionism frequently. I'd spend far too much time obsessing over tiny details and trying to polish every microsecond to an impossibly high standard, causing projects to drag on and on forever. With the book, I knew I couldn't possibly make it flawless. I am just a man, a humble fool. The important thing for the first edition was to get the message out, to just say what I needed to say. In the months leading up to the publication date, there were various pressures to contend with. I decided to publish on April 1st, 2024, Fool's Day, and the 64-year anniversary of the first ever televised photograph of the globe Earth. But it also happened to coincide with the day that the Scottish Government enacted their dystopian new hate crime laws, designed to protect the woke establishment from criticism and scare people into silence on important issues. Given the somewhat contrarian leanings expressed in the book, I half expected to publish and be met with a knock on the door from the thought police. Thankfully, that hasn't happened. Nobody's getting arrested for writing books yet, only for stickers, tweets, and Facebook posts. Hundreds of people have written to me in the months since publishing. None have yet come forth in defense of atoms, gravity, heliocentrism, evolution, or viruses. Instead, several physicists, chemists, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, podcasters, artists, alchemists, and healers have expressed their emphatic gratitude and support for the words herein. People really are waking up from a monstrous scientific deception, and it's multidisciplinary. Now, awakening is what happens when a dream comes to an end. That moment when we open our eyes and the cold light of day washes out the hallucinogenic theatre of the hypnagogic state. Though the word dream is defined as a sleeping vision, it comes from the Germanic word drogmas, meaning deception, illusion, or phantasm. To awaken from deception, illusion, and fantasy is called a rude awakening, the sudden and unpleasant discovery that one is mistaken. Rude awakenings are rare. They initiate a profound transformative process snapping us into a more neutral and detached state of mind from which we can evaluate our conditioning. The beliefs and assumptions we took for granted, the rules and dogma we were taught to follow, all of it is cast naked against the wall and doused with the icy waters of skepticism. False beliefs are blasted away, even stubborn clingers that have been rooted in the mind since infancy. Truth is the signal, and all that is inauthentic or unreal becomes noise. Desires can simply expire. The material trappings we used to crave no longer seem to satisfy. There's a growing sense of divine unrest as we are confronted with the burden of what to do with this newfound knowledge, how to operate in the world as a dissident, an ideological outlander. What follows is both a catalyst and a companion for those awakening souls. Many readers have reported a total worldview transformation. This is not simply a book of alchemy, it's an alchemical book, designed with alchemical principles every step of the way. First, to break down, dissolve, and eliminate the materialist impurities that clog up our cognitive faculties. And second, to construct a superior scientific paradigm based on ether and the elemental building blocks of fire, air, earth, and water. All right, so that may explain to you why I wrote a second edition for the book. There's a process of feedback that happens when you release something. And with music, I would usually do this when, you finish a song or you think you finished it. You then take it to shows and you play it out. And you may play it out for several weeks or months before you actually finish the project, because you get a lot of feedback from releasing it to the public that way. And of course, they do this with software. There's a beta version, and then there's updates as they get more feedback and more ideas. So with the book, I always knew I would make a second edition, and I think now was the time to do that. There's a great many improvements to it, and some small corrections and enhancements, and I think it's just a far more solid product overall. So thank you if you've supported it thus far, and keep it coming. Spread the word. A lot of people need to read this. And for folks in England, I want to let you know that I'm coming to Devon on January 19th, where I'll be giving a full day of talks and presentations covering the various topics in the book. So the event is called Trivium Talks, and I'll put the link in the description. I'll be doing 2 sessions in the morning where we'll be going deep into science and scientism and really dismantling and debunking and breaking down the modern theories and the modern programming. And then in the afternoon, I'll be getting into alchemy and really going deep into what it is and how we can apply it to our lives, for our creativity, for our healing, for our well-being. So I'm really looking forward to this. Preparing a lot of new material, much of which I'll be presenting in other talks I have coming up as well, but also on this channel. So for those of you who are looking forward to me debunking quantum theory and things like this, I promise you it's all coming. So yes, I'm getting a lot of new material together at the moment for this day-long presentation and some other upcoming presentations, which I'll tell you about soon. So yeah, it's really giving me a chance to crystallize a lot of the teachings and bring up to date with a lot of the new stuff I've learned since writing the book as well. So really excited for that. Check out the link in the description if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this and are looking to dive deeper into alchemy and natural philosophy, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.